segue. News this
Great
week.
segue.
So, teaser trailer. Something that people have been wanting for a long period of time. So the Hitman developers, IO Interactive, and have announced their newest game. So this would be following Hitman 3. Is going to be an original James Bond game dubbed Project 007. And I do like here, Swinny, in our notes, this is some BTS, that this will be the 37th Bond game, which is including all the mobile titles. But interestingly, this will be like 9 years after the last console release, 007 Legends. And I don't know, personally to me, I don't feel like any game has really captured the zeitgeist since GoldenEye 007, which was what, like 98 from memory?
Definitely not the zeitgeist, but there have been some decent games. Nightfire, 007 Nightfire is fondly remembered. There's been a lot of crap games like Quantum of Solace. That was a horrible game. Bloodstone, which was an original game as well that had Daniel Craig in it, wasn't too bad. That was like a third-person game. That was a good shot at it, but it obviously didn't move the needle. But this is really interesting because out of anyone to give this franchise to, there is no one better suited than IO at the moment. This is almost a match made in heaven. That it feels like it can't miss. But from we've seen before, Bond titles definitely can miss. So,
but I mean, like, so we don't know much about the game outside of it's going to deal with where Bond started, like his origin story. But we don't even know if it's going to be. I mean, like we all assume, but we don't know for a fact it's going to be in a Hitman style game, right?
Look, I have a feeling it's probably going to be a third-person game that is much more. It's open, but not as open as Hitman. I still think it'll be a bit more linear, like structure. But the interesting part about this is that, like this whole origin story. So, for anyone that knows, Casino Royale is basically the story of Bond getting his 00 status, and that's kind of his origin story. So it's interesting that they're saying that they're exploring an original origin story. So does that mean it's kind of like a Joker thing where they're telling a totally new origin, or is it just leading up to that? It's really interesting.
Yeah, I think people in general have now just accepted that it's almost like you have an IP and then you can just explore whatever you want, including things that are non-canon. It feels like people don't really object to that anymore, as opposed to even 10 years ago. So I'd imagine they're just going to do something completely new.
Well, I actually, when I saw the run sheet, I actually got in touch with one of the directors at IO Interactive, and I have it in good faith that it's actually a story about Bond's parents and how they met and the subsequent origin of Mr. James.
So it's
I can't reveal my sources though. Sorry.
It's Bond, How I Met Your Mother style. Was that what
exactly?
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, it's not the one that everyone suspects it is, and then at the end, oh yeah, it is actually.
It's exactly that, and it's going to go for about 7 different games all up till you eventually find out who it is.
So I thought where you were going
really disappointed.
I thought you were going to say, and Bond's parents are killed in front of him outside of a theater where they just watched a play.
In an alleyway.
Yeah. And a pearl necklace, just all the pearls fly over the alleyway.
And there were 7 pearls exactly.
So I don't think they said who's publishing this, or is it kind of said that IO is almost publishing this game?
Don't know. I mean, this is pretty hot off the presses generally, this news. So
because the interesting part with that, so they've confirmed that they're working directly with MGM and Eon Productions, the movie studios behind the Bond franchise. If this goes well, and if IO Interactive are publishing this game, this is actually a huge deal for them because they got I guess got, I don't know the term, they broke away from Eidos Interactive or Eidos Interactive, right? So I don't know like exactly what happened there with, did they buy the people buy IO back out or whatever, but
yeah, it would be a management buyout.
Yeah, so they're independent. So this is huge. If they're publishing this and this goes gangbusters, then that could set them up as a huge name, much bigger name in the industry. That's really interesting for me. So
yeah, I don't know why this is not a more common thing, where like yacht club gaming. like Shovel Knight makers,
Mhm.
where they're not just given a license to go make, you know, a new Mega Man game or something like that. Like to me, it just seems so strange that they don't take, like, companies don't take more advantage of these, especially these indies or these smaller studios, like kind of almost the classic AA studios back in the old days, to take these IPs on, and it would just dominate. And I think you're right. I think that this has a huge chance because Hitman's a pretty popular franchise, but whack Bond on it, and you know, especially if they could tie it in with when the new movie. I mean, the new movie is already out. I don't even know. The new movies are all over the place these days.
No, it got pushed back a bit.
So it got push back again. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's so confusing because different countries are getting different things at different times based on,
Or even different states.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
No. So no, interesting news. Yeah, we don't even know when a release date is happening. So yeah, it'd be interesting. We'll keep our eye on it.